Let's forget about growth just for a moment. Forget about innovation, disruption, all of it. Today, we're going much deeper to something far more fundamental: endurance. We're talking about the Iron Vanguard, a framework designed not for performance, but for containment in an age of absolute chaos. This isn't about excellence, it's about survival. And this right here, this is the entire philosophy, the foundation of everything we're about to discuss. It's a declaration that when things get volatile, and they will, it doesn't matter how brightly you shine. What matters is how well your walls hold. You're not trying to inspire the world, you're just trying to endure its storm. So, to really understand this idea of an architecture for endurance, we first have to look at its opposite. We need to dissect an architecture of failure, and we'll do that with a story, a parable about the architect of smoke. So, meet our protagonist. He's ambitious, he's a visionary. Sound familiar? His goal is one we all recognize: to build a legacy, something so incredible that his name will live on forever. He believes, like so many leaders do, that his mastery, his brilliance, is the only shield he needs. But here is the fatal flaw. His entire focus was on marketable grace, the aesthetics, the public praise, the stuff that looks incredible in a presentation. He was building something to be admired, not something that could actually withstand the pressures of the real world. He built for the audience and completely ignored the chaos just outside the gates. And the result? Well, it was inevitable, wasn't it? Because his work was focused entirely on external validation, it had no core strength, no resilience. It was beautiful, but it was hollow. And when it finally faced the indifference of time and chaos, it offered no resistance at all. It just faded away, like smoke. So why did the tower fall? The failure wasn't about skill, it was purely architectural. To really get it, we need to map the unseen forces that were at play here, almost like creating a psychological blueprint for his organization. First, we have to name the enemy. In this framework, we call it the howling void. This is the id. It's the raw, unorganized chaos of the market. It's systemic risk. It's pure entropy. It is that constant, relentless pressure from the outside, always looking for a crack, always seeking a way in. Now, the builder's tower, that's the fragile spark. And like most organizations, this is the ego. It's the visible, functioning world, the mission, the daily operations, the people. It's a sanctuary. But what's key is that it's often completely unaware of the constant war being fought just to keep it safe. And this is the piece that was missing: the silent wardens. They represent the superego, the internalized rules, the protocols that you simply do not negotiate. They aren't there to make you feel good or to inspire you. They exist for one single purpose: to maintain the boundaries with a resolve as cold and as steady as iron. So there you have it. The diagnosis is clear. The builder constructed a beautiful ego, a brilliant, fragile spark, but he totally neglected to build the superego. He never posted the silent wardens. He built a sanctuary with no walls, leaving it completely exposed to the howling void. It was doomed from the very first stone. Okay, so we've dissected the failure. Now we move to the prescription for survival. This is the Vanguard Mandate. This is how you build the superego into the very fabric of your organization. This is the core mandate, and it's a radical redefinition of what leadership is. It demands you shift away from that visionary charisma, from performative excellence. Your new objective isn't to be admired. It's just to continue to exist. It's a brutal priority, but it's an honest one. This really is the strategic heart of the whole framework. You have a choice. On one side, you've got divine elegance. It's light, it's ornamental, it's built for marketability, but it's incredibly vulnerable. On the other side, mechanical presence. It's thick, heavy, unadorned iron. It is not beautiful. It is built for one thing and one thing only: zero latency containment, an immediate, decisive, unthinking response. The Vanguard chooses iron every single time. And this requires a trade-off, a deliberate, sometimes painful one. The principle of unadorned iron means you strip away everything that's not essential. The vanity projects, the glory. You consciously abandon the need for external praise for singular, relentless focus on internal order. You choose to last, not to be liked. Okay, so how does this philosophy actually become action? Let's look at the operational protocols. This is what forms the armor of presence. This is where the theory gets very, very real. These are not suggestions. They're not open for debate. They are mechanical protocols. First, threshold mobility. You act immediately. You move faster than the crisis can spread. No committee meeting, no consensus needed. Second, gate sealing. You instantly seal the organizational baits to isolate the vulnerability. You cut it off. Third, contagion control. You methodically hunt down and restrict the spread of any internal rot before it ever has a chance to take hold. This completely redefines what we think of as leadership. In the Iron Vanguard, authority isn't a personality trait. It has nothing to do with inspiring speeches. Authority is the quiet, impersonal, relentless persistence of the system's own defensive protocols. The system itself holds the authority. And now, we get to the most radical part of this framework, the part that's hardest to accept. We need to talk about how it measures success. Forget quarterly earnings, forget media buzz. The Vanguard has a very, very different KPI. And here's the great paradox. The ultimate sign of your success, your greatest victory, is absolute silence. No news, no dramatic turnarounds, no stories of crises narrowly averted. Just quiet continuation. Because the total absence of disturbance is the only real proof that your perimeter is holding. You can imagine this requires a massive cultural shift. The Vanguard has to be indifferent to praise. Its people aren't the heroes of the corporate story. They are the silent, unseen wardens on the wall. Their only reward is that the architecture they protect continues to stand. This is the goal. This is the number you report at the end of the quarter. 0. 0 disturbances. 0 breaches. 0 crises. It is the purest possible signal that the Vanguard and the entire system has succeeded. This is the quiet promise of the Vanguard to the rest of the organization, to that fragile spark inside. You shouldn't even know we're here. If you can do your work undisturbed, if that spark of your mission still burns bright, it's only because the line is being held, in silence, out at the perimeter. So I'll leave you with this question to turn back on yourself. The next time your organization makes headlines, for good or for ill, ask yourself, is that really a sign of victory? Or is it just a symptom, a sign that the howling void has already breached your walls? The Iron Vanguard would suggest that true victory is never newsworthy.